Hi, my name's Sue, and I'm a tarot reader. In fact, my name is Sue Ellam.
I was going to say, what happened to your last name?
My last name just went off into the ether. And I'm using the Mythic Tarot, which is based on Greek mythology.
And I'm Carrie Beleno, and I am an intuitive Reiki master teacher and spiritual life coach for about 23 years as well. And I picked the new word for today. It is community.
Oh, very much on point. We must stop having these conversations before we start.
We always talk like 15 or 20 minutes beforehand, and then we do kind of our topics of the day for us, and all the words we're pulling our conversation.
Relevant to that.
So funny. And literally I have like 200 words in here, so it's not like, you know.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Oh no, because I have my
probably not the kind of what we were expecting. Okay, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and with community, we have to be prepared to let go of the old and move into the new. We have to
Amen, sister.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is coming out your comfort zones in a way, because the old might be quite comfortable. It might not feel as though there's much wrong with it. It's just this niggling feeling that there's better things out there. So it means welcoming new people into your community, and not feeling that if you've got some really people that no longer resonate with you, then be prepared to let them form their own community of people that are more on their vibration. Because it's about, when I talk about community, ideally it's a community of people that get on, that there isn't chaos, there's not arguments. I mean, everyone's going to have disagreements, but then you have a disagreement or you have different ways of thinking, you talk about it, you resolve it. Democracy. Yeah. So this is the starting off is with community. You have to make the effort to come out of your comfort zones and maybe embrace new things and new people. With that as well, we have the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is not getting stuck in your status. Where this is coming from with these cards is that all the problems that we can create within community, which aren't very community spirited. These are the problems. These are the things we say, well, I've always done it that way. My way is best. I'm not going to listen to you, because it blocks off creativity. It blocks off finance. And then things start to crumble. And so we have also got to leave our egos at the door, not think that just because we were head of the town council previously, that everyone's going to accept the fact that we should be the leader this time round. So it is about leaving preconceived notions, going in open-minded, with new people, new skills, new talents. And ideally, it's best that if there's projects within the community, the leader should be the person that knows about it. You know, you wouldn't expect to put a graphic artist in charge of the bakery, for instance. You know, it's common sense, but it does mean people having to park their egos at the door for a real sense of community. You can't get there otherwise. And what comes into mind is the guy that wrote The Road Less Traveled, Scott Peck.
Sorry. That came up for me last night.
Oh, did it? Oh my goodness. Well, he wrote another book. He wrote another book about a different drum. And that is about community. And that's really interesting. It gives it's like everybody is welcome, and it's an interesting book if anybody's kind of wants to delve into that. But anyway, it's about us parking our egos at the door. And also the thing about this as well, it's the 5 of wands. And if we don't park our egos at the door, we don't welcome everybody into the community, regardless of race or creed or color, or sexual orientation.
Or religious beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. If we aren't open to that, and we're only looking for a community of our own type, of our own kind, then that isn't what community is about. We will block it. We will block it from the second card. This has got the way it's got to be. I'm only having black people in, or I'm only having white people in, or it's only going to be kind of a gay community. There's all these little communities that are going on, but they're all different. They're not necessarily talking to each other. I mean, when I'm talking about community, I'm talking about a world community, a human race community, which is the ideal, because then everybody is accepted. Because if we don't do that, it's going to be fraught with problems. There's going to be problems within our houses. There's going to be problems with our neighbors, because they're not in our community. They might live next door, but not in our community. So if we don't open up to the idea of the human race being one community, people don't have to live in the same country. Especially with the days now of social media, I talk to people all over the world. Some of them I know already from my life beforehand, but a lot of them are people I've met, like Carrie, through the social media. We haven't met in person. So we have to look at the world as one big community. And until we start doing that, we're going to continue having problems. We're going to continue having loss. We're going to continue just having really major problems within our lives, and it won't be resolved until we see everybody as equal, and not some people more equal than others, as in the George Orwell. So we have to change. This is a time when we have to change, because otherwise the problems will just continue on. There you go. A passionate ending to the cards.
Yes. I have a couple things coming forward. Some of them are just practical knowledge. So somewhere when I was studying for one of my master's degrees, I had read that or heard that our human brain can theoretically only remember 150 names. And when you start having more than that in your community, you drop off names and pick up the new ones, because we are supposed to have and it was like a protection design, so that when we were building tribes back in the day, when the tribes got to be over 150 people, of you needing to know them and know them intimately and know their names, it was time to break off into a new community and form a new community. And I was just listening to a channel about Atlantis and Lemuria, and how there were communities in those what are they? I don't have a word.
Continents
right, in those, whatever.
Civilization.
Civilization. So that there were these communities, and I was like, oh, they had communities then too. Of course, no one really knows, but that word came up last night for me as well. And so when I'm listening to what you're saying about community, we are creating a new paradigm. We are creating a new sense of unity consciousness. We are moving into unity consciousness, but it's important to maintain communities, because that's where our connections lie. And Sue's absolutely right, by cultivating the new ideas in the communities. But I think the communities, I think we've done a terrible job of communities up until this point. And I think that the communities that we are establishing now can be and should be all inclusive, should be unity, open-minded, equitable, all of those things. And but don't forget that we can't really abolish communities, because those communities together is what makes up the unity. So that was just like a visual that I had while you were speaking. But I have to second your opening statement about getting rid of the old and coming into the new. That is what is happening with the pandemic, with the social crises, with the collapse of the structures. We have to get rid of those old, and ego has a place. And I'm not bashing ego by any stretch of the imagination, but to set aside the ego ruling community and move forward in an energetic or emotional or consciousness pact or community.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's egos, that's our individuality, but it's only when it's
correct.
in charge of us that we have a problem. Okay, so that's all I have to say on the matter.
Me too. Please like, share, and subscribe. Commenting below allows the little tentacles of YouTube algorithms to reach more people. So we appreciate your support.
Thanks very much for joining us. Bye.